So I was doing something the other day that I don't often do, and that is watch some of my old back catalogue of videos on my channel. And I realised that you haven't seen my Goldwing on the channel for absolutely ages. So let's put that right now. Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a much overdue ride on the mighty Goldwing. What an absolutely superb bike this is. So as I was having a little look through some of my back catalogue last night, in fact, on YouTube, not something that I make a habit of doing, but occasionally I sort of get sucked down a bit of a rat hole and end up doing so. I started to watch a video that myself and Mrs. Fly made 8 months ago now on this very bike, and it was a video of us going on tour to Wales, second time on a Goldwing, with a group of pals. We went up to Portmeirion, had a look around there, had a great time, and I thought it was a really good video. But looking back, it's had 28,000 views when I watched it, which is quite low for a video that's been up for a long time. And actually, and I would say this, wouldn't I thought it was a pretty good video. So if you've not seen that, I'll stick a link in the corner, whichever one that is, and by all means go and have a look at that if you fancy it. I thought it was a fun vid. Anyway, it reminded me that I hadn't shown the bike on the video for absolutely ages, and it reminded me just how good this Goldwing is. It's just an epic machine, this. There's something about these full dress tourers, if you want to call them that, it just makes them rewarding to ride. I think it's something to do with the handling of them. They're absolutely stable because of the massive weight. The Goldwing DCT Tour is knocking on 400 kilograms, something like that. It might be 390, maybe they make it sound less, but it is a heavy old thing, you know, twice as heavy as a normal motorcycle. And then stick full fuel baggage, me and my missus on it, and you're riding, you know, well over half a ton of kit around. But the upside of that extra weight it means that it feels very planted on the road, very stable. And I love that feeling if you're on tour in particular, which is what this bike is all about. I love that feeling of stability in the corners. And of course the current Goldwing with this big old 1833cc engine with masses of torque, I think sort of 168 newton meters of torque, something like that. I mean, it's just got power everywhere, and with the DCT box it makes for very relaxed riding. Now, it is a one-trick pony, there's no doubt about that. I bought this entirely to go touring on with my missus on the back, and that's why I have the bike, to do just that. Sadly, I haven't done that for a while, in fact since that last video 8 months ago. But just because of that, don't think that I don't ride the Goldwing. I do ride it on a regular basis, and if you follow me on social media, I'm mostly active on, oh goodness me, what's that thing called? Instagram. God, I'm getting so old. Instagram is where I'm most active on social media. From time to time you'll see I do post a picture up on there of me out somewhere on the Goldwing, quite often on my own, because I do like coming out actually riding it one up just for the hell of it. And also I just don't like leaving my bike sat in the garage without being ridden on a regular basis. I just think it does them good to get them properly warmed up, get the fluids flowing around, make sure you know, get through a tank of petrol, whatever, put in some fresh stuff, just keeps them in good order. And also, if anything does go wrong with them, you have a chance to see that happening. So I do ride this more than my channel would suggest. These roads are so bumpy down here, but this amazing suspension on the wing just soaks it all up. Even though you can no doubt see me bouncing around, it's so plush, this. As I was watching that video last night, actually, in fact I then watched a video of me riding what is technically called the Goldwing, but we often refer to it as the bagger Goldwing, the one without the armchair on the back. And I was watching me ride that on a video and thinking, you know what, these really are the Rolls Royce of motorcycles in terms of comfort and sort of peak luxury in terms of the ride. Now, this sort of shape, this version of the bike, has been out since 2018. This particular one I've got is a 2022, so just coming up to 2 years old. I got it in July, so Haven't had it quite for 2 years yet. Maybe I'll do a 2-year anniversary review of it or something. So yeah, still relatively new, this bike. They had a bit of a refresh in 2021. Minor updates on things like the seat, the capacity of the luggage, the stereo, things like that got a bit of an update. And really, other than new colours, they've not had any sort of significant update since. So I'm kind of expecting maybe in the next couple of years they might have a bit more of a significant update. Because some of the technology, although it's full of all the technology you need, it is, I suppose, now starting to look a little bit long in the tooth. You know, it doesn't have radar cruise control, for example. It does have cruise control, of course, just not the radar variety. And I guess for Honda's flagship Tourer, really, they do need to keep on top of the technology. I mean, I personally don't think it wants for anything. Well, the radar cruise control would be nice, but other than that, everything about the bike is great. Presumably they could give it a 6-axis IMU. That way it would benefit from lead angle sensitive traction and ABS, that sort of thing. But again, I'm not particularly worried about that. Be careful down here, this is a 20-mile-an-hour zone. Seems really slow. One of the great things about the wing, of course, particularly when you've got the screen in the uppermost position, you can ride along with your helmet open like this, and hopefully, as you can hear on the mic, absolutely no wind noise. You wouldn't know I had the helmet open, would you? Probably. The 3 crowns looking splendid in the sunshine. That's a beautiful old barn, that, isn't it? I think it's called Ye Old Barn. I do like that. And back up to 30. Excellent. Oh, it's so nice now, isn't it, that we've got some warmer weather coming. Okay, we've still had quite a bit of rain. I'm filming this in sort of back end of May, and we have now had a few days of nice weather, interspersed with a few days, 50, excellent, interspersed with a few days with a bit of rain as well. It's just nice to come out in, not being all trussed up, just a jacket and my t-shirt on under that, and all is well. So yeah, what else does the Goldwing need if it was to have an update? The obvious things to me are 6-axis IMU, the radar cruise control, but other than that it wants for nothing. Let's go down this way. Turns out this road, which I've only ever been down probably 3 times in my life, turns out it's actually a nice riding road. Shame that little Audi's going down there. I love this engine stop-start on here. When you come to a stop, the engine turns off. Again, it's just one of those things that adds to a relaxing ride. Yep, when you're on the Goldwing and the sun is out, all is well with the world. Sure is a nice place to be. Now this particular road, excellent, Nationals. It's a nice road, but it is bumpy. Surface is as rubbish as every other one here in the UK at the moment. We've got a real pothole problem going on. But again, thanks to this incredible suspension, it just gets soaked up. Look at the sky. I hope the old Osmo Action 4 is showing you this well. Sort of a classic British early summer sky. Is something you won't have seen before is this mount system I got from my other Osmo Action. I've got 2 of these now. I bought my first Osmo Action 4 because I thought it was just such a great camera. I don't know if you saw my recent review of it. I got recommended the camera by Dave from Wheelie Good TV. He's a professional broadcast cameraman, so knows what he's talking about. So I've gone this way now, and yeah, I just love these cameras. So Osmo got in touch and actually sent me another one for free, so thank you, Osmo. But that was after I'd already committed to changing, so don't think I've been a sellout. But anyway, what they didn't send me was this mount. I got this off of Amazon, I think. If you're interested in one, if you've got a bike with a big screen, I'll put a link below to this 3-sucker mount thing. Because I don't know if you remember, but on that Wales trip that I was talking about that I went on with Mrs. Flower on the Goldwing last year, I had my Insta360 camera mounted, which is the other camera that I use occasionally on this bike, and it fell off. and basically damaged itself irreparably and had to buy another one. Insta don't send me cameras for free. Alas, maybe now I've said that, maybe they will. Insta, if you're watching, please send me free cameras like you do everybody else. That would be great. Anyway, I kind of learnt the lesson from that, so I'm thinking now, look, I've got 3 suckers on this. If one lets go, hopefully the other 2 will stay in place. Sadly, this road isn't living up to expectations because we've got a white van ahead. So that means I can't go whapping down here at a sprightly pace. This is one of those bikes that doesn't encourage you to ride like an idiot, and that's good as far as your driving licence is concerned, isn't it? My Kawasaki Z900 RS, which you've seen on the channel a fair bit of recently, and on Instagram. That's a bike because it's got 4 cylinders. It encourages you to wind it up, and it really only comes into its own when it's in the higher rev ranges, and that does encourage me to ride like a lunatic. But I have to say, since I made a video on that said, you know, it didn't have any character and I hadn't really gelled with it, let's overtake, lads. See how they're going to do the same? No, you've had your chance. I'll go then. Yeah, since I made that video saying that it was lacking in character and I had the new exhaust fitted, that bike has really been growing on me too, and I've really gelled with it now. I've been riding that bike a lot. At the moment, my 2 favourite bikes in the stable are the Goldwing and the Z900 RS. I've had lots of people saying, oh, you should sell the Goldwing because you don't use it enough, or you should sell the RS. But nah, they're both, I think, my newest bikes, and they're both bikes that at the moment I'm really loving, so they're sticking around. In fact, they're all sticking around for the time being. So the next tour I've got planned on the Goldwing is going to take place in the summer. Me and Mrs. Flyer using this bike exactly for the purpose for which it was designed, and that's going to be a big European tour. Just the 2 of us. It's in the planning at the moment. We're not riding with anyone else. We're not riding with a tour company. We've just decided we need to jump on the bike, get out the maps, and explore some bits of Europe that we've not done before that we'd like to do. So we want to do the B500 into the Black Forest, something that I know people recommend is possibly one of the best riding roads in the world. I know Nevesy from MCN recommends the B500, so thank you for that. We're going to go and ride that. We go and explore Lake Constance. This is the plan anyway, it might change. We're going to head on down, take in some sights. We're going to go to Liechtenstein, never been there. So the whole reason for going there is I don't know if it's a great ride, probably not, but I just want to go to Liechtenstein to say I've been there. Any pronunciation help would be appreciated in the comments below. Then we're going to head down, hopefully, and see our friends from Canary Motorcycle Tours will be on their summer season in Slovenia. So we're going to go down to Ljubljana, meet up with those guys, and then hopefully, if funds and weather and everything else permit, we're going to track across the north of Italy, taking the Dolomites, which again we love from a skiing perspective, but we've never been there on the bike, and I know the guys from ABR always rate the Dolomites as a riding destination. Don't know where I'm going here, by the way. I'm just randomly riding about. What do we got? All clear. And then back up, maybe via a couple of other of our skiing favourites, maybe places like Chamonix, places like that, Geneva, and up through France and back home. So we're going to take our time doing it, a couple of weeks probably at least. So there will be a tour series coming up later in the year. I expect by the time we've done it and I've edited it, you won't be seeing it probably until September, something like that. So something to look forward to later in the year if you like the tour series and you're a fan of the Goldwing. So that's in the planning at the moment. Let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like to see on that tour series. I thought I would do a bit of at the start of the video, I will do a bit about how we go about planning our tours and how we go about packing as well before we actually get into the off. There's a few people have asked about that. This is a nice road as well, isn't it? Surface is not great, but perfect Goldwing territory, nice open wide sweepers. And you can just really enjoy the torque on this amazing 6-cylinder motor. I love it. Thanks to everybody that's asked about my shoulder and the operation I had, the second one, how that's gone. So it's kind of early days yet. I've still got issues with the shoulder, but you know, it's biology, isn't it? Nothing was going to be fixed 100% quickly. I've definitely got more movement in it. I've still got quite a lot of pain in it though, so Working on that with a physio, still going back to hospital twice a week to see the physio. So that's a work in progress, so thank you to everybody that's asked about that. And just a big thank you generally for keeping watching my videos. I do wonder, you know, do vloggers have a shelf life? And I'm sure we have. You know, my number of subscribers has sort of, well, I'm glad to say it's not going down, but the rate in which they increase has decreased, if that makes sense. So there we go, there's traffic lights or something. But the numbers are still going up, so thank you very much for keep watching the channel. Let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like to see. A few people have commented about doing some more of those old classic bike reviews that used to do so well. I used to do them with Superbike Factory. Well, unfortunately Superbike Factory stopped sponsoring the channel, so I don't get access to those bikes anymore, but I am in talks with them again about maybe doing a few classic reviews as kind of one-off, so I'll let you know how that goes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, those might be coming. And again, I'll try and keep the channel varied with a bit of a mix-up with you know, things like biker scrams that I know people enjoy. Of course, bike news. All these things attract slightly different audiences. I know some people like the tours, some people don't. Others come here for the bike reviews. And again, if it's a bike that I'm interested in, I will continue to do the bike reviews as well, because it's just a great way to get a decent test ride on a bike as much as anything. Ah, bit of Friday lunchtime traffic. Not good. Alright, so maybe it's an opportune time then to say cheerio for now. This was just like a little bonus update video. Bring you up to date on a few bits and pieces that are going on. And also let you know that I hadn't forgotten about the Goldwing. I absolutely love this thing. And you are going to be seeing a lot more of this bike come that tour that I mentioned. Oh, come on. I can't stop the video held up in traffic. Which way to go back? Tame or Aylesbury? What do I fancy? Tame has got to be better than Aylesbury, isn't it, from a riding perspective? No offence, Aylesbury. Let's go this way. So yeah, just thinking about that tour actually, and just thinking about this road. The planning we're doing will take us hopefully on roads a bit like this, sweeping, nice roads like that. I am going to avoid doing some of the more tricky stuff. So for example, the route that we've got planned so far, which we're doing old school via a map, does take us via the Glockner Pass and the Stelvio Pass. And I've kind of decided in my mind I'm not going to do either on the Goldwing, because doing those two up fully loaded on the wing is just a recipe for disaster, and I think I'd end up, you know, dropping the bike or something. But let me know if you've done those passes, whether you think they are doable. The Stelvio, I looked at a few videos and thought, nah, that's too hairpinagey for me. I'm not a big fan of hairpins anyway. I'll save that for later when I'm out in Europe on my own on a more agile bike, maybe on the Kawasaki. Glockner, I'm not so sure about, I haven't looked that up yet. Do you think that's doable on the wing 2 up? We shall see. Ah, look at that, massive great bird turd splattered on the wing, perfect. Ah, I hate that. Thank you, birds. How annoying. Anyway, there we go. On that shitty note, let me end this video. Hope you have a great weekend. I'm recording this on a Friday, so I'm feeling, you know, got that Friday feeling. If you've not hit subscribe so far, do hit that subscribe button on the channel. Keep those numbers going up. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mr. and Fly. Cheerio.
Missing the flyers.
Alright folks, I'm back. I took a left turn off that main road to Tame. It was signposted Dinton. And well, how beautiful is this? This is just gorgeous down here. I need to explore my local area more. You never know what's in your backyard. You look at these houses here, stunning. And the views over the Chilterns there, absolutely gorgeous. The view only marred by this massive bird turd that splurged itself on my screen. By the way, if you're wondering how to get rid of those, the best, safest way, because these screens are expensive if you want to replace them, would you believe, I was looking the other day, the touring screen for this, which is slightly bigger than this admittedly, 10 centimetres bigger, £400 for a piece of Perspex. Unbelievable. So I don't want to damage this or get it scratched. So the way to get that off there is to put, I've found, get some damp kitchen roll, well, wet in fact, stick it on there, leave it on there for an hour or two, and then when you come back with another bit of damp kitchen roll, it'll just wipe off there and bring all that off with it without scratching anything. That I've found is the safest bit. There we go. Tips for Goldwing life on the Missington Flyer. Oh, this is just good for the soul.